Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Good morning, students. We have been discussing about the synopsis of laws of motion in our previous classes. So we'll solve few of the problems. Okay. So just go through the PDF which is given to you. Okay. First question: action and reaction. First point is act on two different objects. Second point, have equal magnitude. Third point, have opposite direction. Fourth point, have resultant 0. So here action and reaction, this belongs to the third law of motion, right? So what is action, what is reaction? Action and reaction both are forces. So for every action there will be equal and opposite reaction. So if you go through the first point, act on two different objects. Action and reaction, they act on two different objects, right? When you throw the ball on the wall, ball will exert force on the wall, that is action. Wall will exert force on the ball, that is reaction. So action is acting on wall, reaction is acting on ball. So action and reaction are acting on two different objects, correct? The first point is correct definition for action and reaction. Second one, have equal magnitude. Yes, action and reaction are having equal magnitude. For every action there will be equal and opposite reaction. So law itself says. Third point, have opposite direction, correct. Next, fourth one, have resultant 0. See, if two forces are equal in magnitude but opposite in reaction, their sum, resultant means their algebra, their sum, vector sum should be 0. Am I right? So they have resultant 0. So now go through the options. The first option is 1 and 2. Second is 2 and 3. Third is 3 and 4. Fourth option is all options are correct. Yes, right? All the options are correct. So option 4 is the answer, or option D is the answer. Next, move to the second question. So yeah, for the first question, option D is the answer. Option D is the answer. Let's move to the second question. A car moving with the velocity of 10 meter per second. Imagine a car which is moving with the velocity of 10 meter per second can be stopped by the application of constant force F. A car is moving with the velocity 10 meter per second. Okay. The velocity of the car is 10 meter per second. Alright. And it can be stopped, means 10 meter per second is its initial velocity, correct? Car is moving with 10 meter per second means the initial velocity of the car is 10 meter per second, because the second sentence says it can be stopped. Stopped means final velocity is 0. When the car stops, the velocity of the car becomes 0. Correct? So final velocity is 0. It can be stopped by the application of constant force F. What is the force acting on the car? F. Okay. In a distance 20 meter. What is 20 meter here? The distance travelled by the car. So that is 20 meter, or displacement of the car. Next, if the velocity of the car is 30 meter per second, when it was 10 meter per second, initial velocity is 10 meter per second, it covers 20 meter distance for the applied force. Now, if it is 30 meter per second, let me take it as u dash. If u is, which I call it as u dash, 30 meter per second, then it can be stopped by this force, by applying the same amount of force. So how can it stop, or how long it will go? So you will apply the same amount of force. They are asking what is x dash. So in any of the competitive examination, the first thing you have to learn is analyze the problem, students. You should be able to analyze the problem or understand the problem. So mathematical part is as simple as you do plus and minus. So analyzing is very important. If your analyzation goes wrong, then no matter how accurate your with your calculation is, the whole answer is wrong. See, read the question again. A car moving with the velocity 10 meter per second can be stopped by the application of constant force F in a distance 20 meter. A car is moving, its velocity is 10 meter per second. You apply some force F on that car and car will come to rest. Car will stop, means it will come to rest after 20 meter of distance. After applying the brake, it will go 20 meter of distance, then it will come to rest. Now, if the same car moves with the speed 30 meter per second and same amount of force is applied on it, and after how long it will come to rest. So you should find out x dash. For this, can I write this, go for this equation, v square is equal to 2ax. Similarly for this, can I go for this equation, v dash square is equal to 2a dash x dash. Oh, v square is equal to u square plus 2ax. Here v square is equal to u dash square plus 2a dash x dash. Now here v is 0. What is u? 10 whole square plus 2. What is acceleration of this case? Acceleration means what? Acceleration is force per mass. Let's say m is the mass of the car and the force applied in both the cases F. So acceleration in both the cases same. Am I right? Force applied to the same car and same amount of force is applied, therefore acceleration is same because acceleration is force per mass. Force here is F, force here also F. In the second case is also force is F. So F by m is acceleration, so I can simply write it as acceleration. Acceleration is same in both the cases. 2a, what is x? That is 20. So how about here? So v dash here is 0 because it will come to rest. V dash is equal to 0. So 2a, x we don't know, so take it as x dash. What is u dash square? 30 square. Okay. So this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. In equation 1 and 2, left hand sides are same. So right hand side can be equated. So if you equate 10 square plus 2a into 20 is equal to 30 square plus 2a into x dash. 2a gets cancelled, right? 2a gets cancelled. X dash is equal to 10 square minus, okay, yeah, 10 square plus 20 is equal to 30 square plus x dash. 30 square plus x dash. So this is 100 and plus 20 is equal to 30 square plus x is 30 square is 900. So now 100 plus 20 is 120 is equal to 900 plus x dash. So x dash is equal to equation 1 and 2. So now here we have to focus one more thing is acceleration is decreasing, means it is coming to stop. A car is coming to stop means it is retarding. So acceleration is negative, so you can put this as a negative here. In both the cases acceleration is negative, correct? You can put this as here. Now from equation 1 and 2, you can compare equation 1 and 2. You can compare equation 1 and 2, means you have to find the ratio of it. On the left hand side we have 0 only, so 0. and on the right hand side 10 square by 30 square minus 2a into 20 divided by minus 2a into x dash. 2a gets cancelled. Here 10 square is 100, 30 square is 900, 1 divided by 9. So you can say that 1 by 9 is equal to 20 divided by x dash. We just want to know what is x dash, students. X dash is equal to 20 into 9, which is equal to 180 meter. Which is equal to 180 meter. So one is acceleration is negative. That is very important to consider acceleration as a negative because object is coming to rest. When the object is going to stop, its acceleration is retardation, means negative of acceleration. It is not increase in the velocity, it is retardation. So I have taken negative here. Another thing very important to notice is whenever objects comes to rest, the final velocity of the object will become 0. If the object starts from rest, the initial velocity of the object is 0. So these things you have to remember, or you have to keep in mind when you solve the problems related to the mechanics, right? So x dash is equal to 180. Option D is your right answer. Answer is option D. Option D is your right answer. So next move to the next problem, third question. Okay. A body of mass 1 kg is moving towards east with a uniform speed of 2 meter per second. Okay, a body is moving towards east. So if you consider a body, it is moving towards east now. Okay, with the uniform speed. What do you mean by uniform speed? Whenever they mention uniform speed or uniform velocity, they do mean that acceleration is 0. So here the things you have to consider is acceleration along, this is x-axis, isn't it? Towards east means it is x-axis. So ax is equal to 0. You should know the direction. This is east, this is west, north, south. Okay. So object is moving towards east with the uniform velocity or uniform speed 2 meter per second. So what is the x component of the speed, students? That is 2 meter per second. Did they mention any y component of the speed? No. Object is moving only in a x-axis. It is moving towards east means it is moving only in a x-axis. So they also meant uy is equal to 0. Why u? Why not v? Because object is starting. It is the initial motion. So initial speed, x component is 2 meter per second. When they say it is moving towards east, there is no motion in there is no speed along north direction. So uy is 0. So when they say uniform motion, so it is understood that acceleration along x component is 0. Alright, next. A force of 2 Newton is applied towards north. A force of 2 Newton is applied towards north. So there is a force applied towards north. So this is the direction of force applied. This is north, right? So force is applied in this direction. If the force is applied towards north, then acceleration of the body will also be towards north, because from second law of motion we know that for every applied force, external force, the body will accelerate, then that force is equal to m into a. M is a mass. So if F is the force applied, then acceleration of that body will be in the direction of the force applied. Am I right? So F is equal to m into a. Magnitude of the force is product of mass into acceleration. What about the direction of acceleration? Here mass is scalar quantity, so acceleration will be in the direction of applied force. So if the force is applied along this direction, there is an acceleration along this direction, which is nothing but y component of the acceleration. So which you have to find out. Forces along y-axis, you should find out the acceleration along y-axis. The magnitude of the displacement of a body after 2 seconds that the force is applied, you should find out. So when t is equal to 2 seconds, what is the displacement d? So since we are talking in terms of vector here, you should know displacement should have both x components and y components. Correct? Displacement here is nothing but xi cap plus yj cap, where x is the displacement along east direction, y is the displacement along north direction. So what will be the magnitude of the displacement then? Magnitude of the displacement will be x square plus y square. So these many things you already know or you should know, which won't be given in a question directly, but it is the conceptual knowledge. Okay, I repeat the question again. A body of mass 1 kg is moving towards east. See, mass of the body is given. Mass of the body is how much? 1 kg. It is moving towards east. When they say it is moving towards east, there is no y component of the velocity. So with the velocity 2 meter per second and acceleration, x component of the acceleration is 0 because uniform speed. And a force is applied, force of 2 Newton is applied along y direction, means towards north. And now they are asking what is the magnitude of the displacement in 2 seconds of the force applied. If the body is moving and the force is applied, body will start to accelerate. So for that acceleration it will cover some distance or displacement will take place. What is that displacement they are asking? So here to know x and y, see what is x? So along x axis, displacement along x axis. So what is displacement along x axis? X is equal to ux into t plus half into ax t square. Do you agree with that? Displacement along x axis is ux into, since it is x displacement, x component of the initial velocity, x component of the acceleration you should consider. So what is the x component? 2. And what is the time? So you need the displacement in 2 seconds, so time you should consider is 2 seconds. Plus half into, what is ax students? It is 0. So entire thing is 0. This will become 0. So x is 4 meter. So for the applied force F, the body will cover 4 meter along x axis. Okay. So 1 meter, 2 meter, 3, 4 meter. 4 meter along x axis. What about y axis? Along y axis. So what is the displacement along y axis? Y is equal to uy into t plus half into ay into t square. This is the second kinematic equation. X is equal to ut plus half at square. So here instead of u I have uy, instead of va I have ay. What is uy? Uy is 0. Plus half into ay we don't know, it is not 0 for sure, but we don't know. What is a? A is force per mass. What is ay? Fy by mass. Am I right? What is Fy? Force acting in a y direction. Which is y direction? North. What is the force acting in a north direction? 2 Newton. What is the mass of the object here? 1 kg. So Ay is 2 meter per second. So if you want I can also write the formula here. Ay by m into t square. So y is equal to half into Ay is 2 divided by 1. T square is 2 square. So this gets cancelled. 2 square is 4. So y is also 4 meter. Now that I know y and x, I can calculate the displacement. Along x axis it covers 4 meter, along y axis also it covers 4 meter. Means what is the total displacement of it? So total displacement of the object D is equal to square root of x square plus y square, so which is nothing but 4 square plus 4 square, which is nothing but 2 4 square. 4 square plus 4 square is 2 4 square. So 4 square, square root of 4 square is 4. 4 root 2 meter is the displacement. Am I right? 4 root 2 meter is the displacement. Option B is the right answer. Hello students, let's move to the third problem. A force F1 acts on a particle so as to accelerate it from rest to a velocity v. So what does it mean? There is one particle, let's say this is a particle, okay, and it is at rest now. So what is the initial velocity of this? 0. If it is rest, its initial velocity is 0. I apply F1 force. Pushing is nothing but applying force. So when I apply F1 force, this object starts moving. Am I right? So an object of mass m is applied by force F1. What happens? Its initial velocity would be 0 because it starts from rest. So final velocity is nothing but v, because it is mentioned in the question. By applying F1 force, it make the object to accelerate in velocity v. So what will be the acceleration of this? Acceleration is F1 divided by mass, if m is the mass of this object. Next, the force F1 is replaced by F2, which deaccelerated to rest. This was at rest initially. By applying F1 force, it started to move, it started to accelerate. Now F2 force is accelerated on it. So when I push it from this direction, right, F2 is applied on the other direction so that it will come to rest. By deaccelerating, it will come to rest. So they are asking, options are F1 must be greater than F2 or equal to F2, F1 may be equal to F2, F1 must be unequal to F2, none of these. So all the options look similar. So which is the right answer we should go for? So second part of a question is, when F2 acting on same particle, so mass of the particle is same. If it is F1 or F2 force acting on the particle, mass is same. What is the initial velocity? See, this object was applied by F1 initially, then it is replaced by F2 and bring it to 0, or it will deaccelerate that to 0. Means when F2 is acting, the initial velocity of the particle is nothing but final velocity when F1 was acting, correct? So here you can say u is nothing but v, initial velocity is nothing but v. What about the final velocity for this condition? For this condition, final velocity is nothing but 0 because the object will come to rest. When F2 is acted, object will come to rest. So final velocity is 0. And what about the acceleration? That is deacceleration, means retardation. So it should be minus. So acceleration is minus F2 divided by m. Am I right? Or minus a is nothing but F2 divided by m. Force by mass is acceleration. So now we will apply third kinematic equation for both the cases, when F1 is acting and when F2 is acting. When F1 is acting, mass is m, initial velocity is 0, final velocity v, acceleration is F1 by m. When F2 is acting, mass is same, but initial velocity is the final velocity of the previous case and final velocity is 0, acceleration is F2 by m. So what is that third kinematic equation? V square is equal to u square plus 2ax. So what is v here? Final velocity. U is initial velocity, a is acceleration and x is the displacement. Let's say when F1 is acting, the body undergoes a displacement S1 or x1. When F2 is acting, the body undergoes a displacement x2. Alright. So now sir, let's substitute it to both the conditions. When F1 is acting, so for F1 force. So when F1 is acting, what is V? V is V. V square. What is U? U is 0. So 0 plus 2. What is acceleration? F1 by m. What is displacement? x1. Alright. So this is equation number 1. So when F2 is acting for F2 force, what is final velocity for F2? 0. What is initial velocity for F2? V. So V square. U square is V square here. 2 into. What is acceleration for F2? Minus A. Minus A means minus F2 by m. Am I right? And what is the displacement? x2. So this is equation 2. So can I write equation 2 as minus V square is equal to minus 2F2 by m into x2? Yes, I can write. So minus can be cancelled. So this is my equation 2 now. Now, if you look at the left hand side of equation 1 and equation 2, they are equal. So you can say that right hand side of equation 1 and 2 are equal. So what is that? 2F2 by m into x2 is equal to 2F1 by m into x1. 2 gets cancelled, m gets cancelled. So what is remaining? F2 x2 is equal to F1 x1. Correct? So which option suits here? If you go to the first option, F1 must be equal to F2. See, if this condition is satisfied for the given two situation, so F1 need not be equal to F2, right? If F2 is greater than F1, then here x1 should be greater than x2. Correct? So option B, F1 may be equal to F2. Yeah, if F1 is equal to F2, then x1 will also be equal to x2. So that can be the option. F1 must be unequal. Not necessary. Must be means condition. Option A is also condition. F1 must be equal. So to satisfy, I hope you are following. See, to satisfy this condition, what is the condition? F2 into x2 should be equal to F2 into x1, F1 into x1. To satisfy this condition, F1 need not be equal to F2 and F1 need not be greater than F2, but F1 may be equal to F2. If F1 is equal to F2, then x1 is also equal to x2. So in all the four options, all the four options can be possible. See, F1 can be equal to F2 or F1 may be unequal to F2, but since we have conditions for option A and option C, option B is the right answer. F1 may be equal to F2. F1 may be equal to F2, but not compulsory. F1 need not be equal, or it is must not be equal to F2. So F1 can be greater than F2 or F2 can be greater than F1. So it can also be equal to each other. So option B is the right answer. Well, moving to the next problem. In the figure, the block A, B and C of mass m each have acceleration a1, a2 and a3 respectively. F1 and F2 are external forces of magnitude 2 mg and mg respectively. Options are given. So there are three systems in which masses are connected to the string and passes through the pulling. This is A. Here force is applied F1, which is equal to 2 into mg. This is second system where two masses are placed, m, and this is 2m, and here this is B system, system B. This is system A, and in system C you have a mass here. So this is system C. and also force applied here F2, which is equal to mg. So these are three different systems, students. See, in the first system there is only one mass connected to the rope or the string, and that string passes to the pulley. This is your frictionless pulley, and other end of the string is applied by downward force, which is nothing but 2 mg. In the system B, there are two masses m and 2m, which are connected at the end of a string, and string passes to the pulley, frictionless pulley. In the system C, again two masses are connected at the end of the string, and string passes to the pulley, and a force F2 is applied across one of the mass. You should find out option A. So if you look at the options, you should find out what is the acceleration condition. Let's say acceleration here is A1. So acceleration here is A1, this is A2, and this is A3. Okay. So acceleration of this system is A1, this system is A2, this is A3. Then which option is right? Option A says that all the accelerations are equal. B says that A1 is greater than A3. Acceleration here is greater than this, and this is greater than this. Option C says that A1 is equal to A2 and A2 is greater than A3. D says that A1 is greater than A2 and A2 is greater than A3. So how to do that? To know what is the acceleration, you should find out the accelerations. So to know the relation between the accelerations each, you should find out the accelerations of each case. Correct? So now let's draw the diagram. See, here force applied is 2 mg. What is the force applied here? The weight of this block. What is that weight? M into G. This is M into G. This is 2 into M into G. So obviously this force is greater than the weight of this block. So acceleration here is upward and here is downward. If you come here, this is mass mg. So weight of this is mg. This is 2 mg, so weight of this is 2 mg. Obviously this mass is greater than this, so this accelerates upward, this accelerates downward. Correct? Heavier mass goes down. If you observe here, both are equal mass, but one extra force is acted here, so acceleration here, A3 is upward and A3 is downward here. This is A2, this is A1. Alright. Now let's find out A1. So let's draw the free body diagram for this. If you draw the free body diagram for this, so no, not necessarily the free body diagram. Which is greater force? This is greater force, this is lesser force. So by applying Newton's second law, net force is equal to mass into acceleration. Correct? So which is the net force? Net force is F1 minus weight of this, which is nothing but m into g, is equal to mass times of acceleration. What is mass? M, and acceleration is A1. So force is 2 mg, you can substitute that. So 2 into m into g minus m into g is equal to m into A1. So m gets cancelled, 2 mg, so I am sorry, 2 mg minus mg is m into g, which is equal to m into A1. So you can say A1 is nothing but G. Alright, A1 is nothing but G. So whereas this condition, here acceleration, for this system you know the acceleration, correct? So acceleration is net force divided by net mass or total mass. Total mass. What is the net force acting here? This is greater force. So one is weight of this, another one is the weight of this, that is 2 into m into g minus m into g. This is a net force. Correct? Net force by total mass is acceleration. So here A2 is nothing but net force is what? Greater force minus lesser force. Which is greater? The weight of 2m is greater than weight of m. Divided by total mass, 2m plus m is 3m. So what do you get? So m gets cancelled. 2g minus g is g divided by 3. is nothing but A2. A1 is G, A2 is G by 3. So coming here, again acceleration is net force divided by total mass. What is the net force? See, one is weight of this, another one is weight of this, and weight and the force acting on this weight. So these two are total weight, correct? So what are the forces acting on this mass? One is weight of this itself, that is m into g, plus the force which was acting here, F2 which was equal to mg. So you can consider this as a greater force, which is nothing but mg plus mg plus F2, okay, minus the weight of this m into g divided by total mass 2m. So what is F2? F2 is nothing but mg, correct? So mg plus mg is nothing but 2mg. 2mg minus mg is nothing but mg by 2m, which is mg by 2m. M gets cancelled. So you can say that A3 is g divided by 2. See, A1 is g, A3 is g divided by 2, A2 is g by 3. So can you say that A1 is greater than A3, which is greater than A2? So which is the right option? Option B is the right answer. So you should know, we know the general formula for acceleration here. What is the general formula for acceleration? Acceleration is equal to total net force divided by total mass. So we are using that general formula. We can't use that here because we don't have two masses. So net force here will be, so acceleration A1 will be F1 minus mg divided by m. So F1 is 2mg minus mg is mg divided by m. So gets, we can use the same formula here also. So thank you. We'll solve some more problem in the next class.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.